you. It's an interesting question, isn't it? As a business coach, I would say that I work with predominantly two groups of people. And while they're both trying to grow their business, the first group of people isn't at that stage of business yet where they need staff, whereas the second group of people have got to that stage where they're looking to hire and hire correctly, and they've got people to manage. So taking the first group of people who want to grow their business but they don't yet have staff, I guess one of the overriding types of questions that we'll get there is what should I be doing if I need more customers? And let's face it, at that stage of the business, you're probably talking about 100,000 turnover to roughly 300,000 or 400,000 turnover. It is very much about getting more customers through the door. So what should you do if you need to get more customers? And my response to that is that first of all, you need to get really, really clear on who that customer is. You need to get selective. So not just a living, breathing human being off the street, because I'm sure we'd agree that not all customers are equal. So the distinction here is we don't just want more customers, we want more of the right kind of customers. So more of the great customers that we love, who I'm going to call our ideal customer or our niche. Yeah, so look, our niche customer is someone who's going to be way more responsive to what we're selling. They will buy more easily from us, and they'll buy at a much higher price because we're able to demonstrate that we actually know who they are and what they're going through at the moment. If we're not clear on that niche, if we're not clear on who our ideal client is, we try to sell to everyone. But that means we have to water down our message and make it really, really generic because we're talking to everyone. And I know that sort of sounds counterintuitive. People say to me, but surely I need to appeal to this wide range of people because I need customers. And the answer is actually no. You're doing yourself a disservice if you do that. You need to get very clear on one group of customers so that you can pitch your message directly to that person, because it has to be as though you're talking to one person in your message. So whether that's a Facebook ad, whether it's a LinkedIn post, whether it's an advertising piece, a radio piece, a podcast, a video, you have to talk to one specific person so that you can demonstrate that you know who they are. So let's take, for instance, I was having a conversation earlier today with some people in the health industry who have a great new piece of equipment, and they're wanting to figure out who they should pitch it to on something like a Facebook lead ad. And so we talked about the fact that maybe this is something that a triathlete would use to help improve their fitness, get them back on track if they've had an injury, and so on. So while triathletes might be a segment of the market, that's a totally different topic. I'm not going to go there at the moment. What we want to think about is one triathlete in that group of people. So who is that one triathlete that we're going to talk to? Because we need to know, is it male or female? Because we can't talk to both. Are they 25 or are they 55? Because we can't talk to both. Because when you think about it, a male exercises differently to a female. Our bodies are built differently. The stress that we put on our bodies are different. A 25-year-old will be training at a totally different type of level to a 55-year-old. So they're going to have different problems in terms of recovery and how they use that piece of machinery. So we have to get really, really clear on exactly who this person is that we're talking to, so that when we write our communication piece, the person who's reading it, who is the 27-year-old who's out to improve performance, wants that edge over his competitors, and wants to make sure that he's being proactive, shall we say, in training his body, is going to be far more responsive to that ad than a female who's at 40 years old thinking about triathlons. Now, yes, she may click on the ad, but we're not aiming it at her. That's okay. We know who we're aiming it at. So to find more customers, when someone says to me, what should I do to find more customers? The first thing I say to them is get clear on who you want, and then make sure that your message communicates just to them. And I guess in another video, I can talk a little bit more about market segmentation, because that's an interesting place as well, because you will have different niches. There's no doubt about that. And what I quite often encourage my clients to do is give their niche or their ideal client in that market segment a name. So our triathlete, who's 27, let's say, to 33 years old, might be called Andrew. But we might also have a triathlete who we want to target who's in that sort of 40 to 45-year-old age bracket, and her name might be Bonnie. So we make sure that we know exactly what Bonnie wants. We make sure we know exactly what Andrew wants. What worries him? What's he thinking about in his life at the moment? All of those things go into our ad. I can talk about this for ages, as you can tell. So thank you for the question. And I will make sure that we get on to market segment next time we chat. I'm Dawn Russell. That was another Dawn's Diagnosis, and I look forward to you joining me for another one in the future.